Oh, yeah. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down. Bring that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people, today? Oh, yeah. We coming with another wonderful episode, of course. Beats Vibes Life. Yo, that is the show where I, myself, and my man, Arckatron, holds it down. I bring an album, he brings an album, and we talk about how much we love it. But today is a special day. Top 10 producers. So before we get started, I'm going to let this young man over here introduce himself.
I am Arcatron. I have sideburners now. This is what I do. No, but how y'all doing, everybody? We are, top 10 producers. We're doing it. Today, we got a list. We're going back and forth with our list. So, we don't like...
So I'll do number 10, he'll do number 10 or whatever, and we'll go all the way up to 1.
Yep, all the way up.
Right. So, guys, in the chat, what we're talking about, different producers. Let us know who your list is, maybe who you love, who you hate, what you're digging, what you're not digging, all that good stuff. Also, thank you for rolling through. I can't see the chat today. I apologize, but we'll try to catch it on the screen. It just goes real fast, but we'll try to catch it on the screen. Big shout out to everybody who's watching. Go to hit that thumbs up. Share this stream out to your folks, especially if they love them beats. So, without further ado, my man Arcatron, who is your number 10 and why?
My number 10 is your favorite person, Kanye West. So in terms of because we're talking about production, right?
Yes.
Now the music that is produced by this person, or with people, of course,
produced. But go ahead.
But I would say Kanye, to me, in terms of like, I have a couple words here: originality, full career, consistency, and cultural impact. Okay, that's where I feel this is where my list is comprised of those kind of things.
And I'm kind of similar, kind of like longevity, kind of like with how they approach the game. Yes. What's up, Alan?
And whatever they did, how it impacted and shifted things. Yeah, that's very major in my.
And that's important because I do think, for better or for worse, Kanye did come to the scene and bring something. He brought something like almost kind of like looking at something with a fresh pair of eyes. He worked samples differently. He kind of shifted the game. He started to make a bridge. What up, Open Mind? He kind of shifted and brought and kind of made a bridge between what we were seeing as kind of like the underground and commercial success.
Underground and overground.
Yeah,
he was a bridge.
And when he came out, I was a super fan. I was really. He just came out and really impressed me in a lot of ways. And I know there's a lot of people that might say that he was kind of ushered in and, surrounded by a lot of people. But there was someone else that was surrounded by a lot of people that we still love, who is Nas. You know what I'm saying? Nas in his first album was surrounded by tons of greats, just like Kanye was surrounded by like Common, No ID.
But the thing is, there's a lot of people surrounded by a lot of people that still don't do good beats.
Yeah, true. So Kanye, I will give it to him, just so different, and just really was able to. What I love most about him is that he was able to kind of, maybe if he didn't fully bridge the gap, he tried. I think he did a pretty good job at it.
Especially on those first 3 albums. Like those first 3 albums.
That's my Kanye.
He had pairings that you would never expect to be in the same room.
Yeah.
He had it was
he had Mosin
Freeway.
Mosin Freeway, yeah.
Mosin Freeway. He had who was on the track with Jay? Was it just Jay and someone else? Yeah, somebody with Jay.
Jay-Z and somebody else that like Consequence or something like that.
Yeah, it was really the pairings that he had on his first couple albums are really I never thought that could work, but it actually worked.
Yeah.
Because he was the middle ground and all that.
Yeah. And the only thing is that I wish that it would have extended further than him. That people would stop this idea of if you're Mos Def, you can only rap with these people. Or if you're Jay-Z, you can only rap with these people. I wish that people would have continued to do that type of stuff. But I think only he can
do that because the vision that he had. The thing he always had.
But it would have been great to see somebody, and I know people might cringe with this, but great to see someone like Migos reach out to Jadakiss or you know, just weird stuff that you never thought would work, and then be like, oh snap, this ain't bad. Or see like 2 Chainz get on a track with I don't know, Nas, Black Thought, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like just something weird that you wouldn't see. So I do like that.
Yeah. Wait. 2 Chainz is on a De La Soul album.
He was?
Yeah.
The newer joint.
The newer joint.
Oh yeah.
So that's apparent that I would never.
So yeah, that is apparent.
Yeah. My man Hive told me about it. That's
Hive,
I haven't heard it myself, but he told me about it.
Yeah. All right. So my number 10.
Who's your number 10? It better not be who I'm thinking it is. Who it is? Who's your number 10?
9th Wonder.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
See, look. You brought Kanye, and I gave him love.
I'm taking the glasses off.
Look, hold on, guys. Look, Instagram and YouTube. He brought Kanye, and I didn't bring up any kind of controversy. Know nothing about the White House. Know nothing about slavery. Know nothing.
We talking about the music, bro.
Yes, but I didn't roll my eyes. I was like, you know what? Let me focus on the pluses from this.
But that's the name since we've been doing this. That's the name that triggers me every time.
So,
it's a trigger.
9th Wonder. The reason he makes my list as number 10 is because I do believe, as well as other people believe, and I'm making my case right now because there's some heat coming from the prosecution. All right. 9th Wonder came in at a time when what would be considered, I guess you could say, like golden era type hip hop, or some people would call real hip hop, or some people call it lyrical hip hop, you know, was at a, I don't know if you'd say standstill, but it was definitely not being highlit. And when he came, he gave us 2, not 1, but 2 very, very dope, like straight top tier, and some would say classic albums in The Listening and The Minstrel Show. Amazing melodies, amazing samples, really just came out and gave us what a lot of people were looking for, with 2 MCs that some people would argue are one is good and one is bad, but with the concepts of the albums they were in, they really filled out that feeling that we have been missing, especially from, I guess you could say, kind of like the Native Tongue vibe. And that's why he's my number 10, because even since then, he's continued to lace people like Buckshot, Rhapsody, Jean Grey, and they have all sounded great over his production. He's even extended to like Destiny's Child, Jay-Z, and he has done very well for himself, not only on the teaching side as being a professor, and also intellectually explaining and breaking down certain parts of hip hop, but also being able to come through on the practice of creating the hip hop.
Okay.
Keep it positive, my brother.
No. Okay. So I feel
okay.
The 9th Wonder that I like is actually post Little Brother 9th Wonder.
Okay.
If I would say like
so, kind of like the Rhapsody, Jean Grey,
more
Buckshot,
the Jean Grey, Buckshot,
Sean
variety,
Price,
Sean Price variety.
I
always say this about 9th Wonder. Love his chops, man. His sample chops are pristine. He's probably one of the best sample choppers I ever heard in my life.
Check him on Rhythm Roulette, man. He breaks 2 joints out that I'm like, what? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, he's got that. That's never been a thing with me in 9th Wonder. It's only literally one thing.
And that is?
The drums.
Oh, yes. Yes, the drums.
The similarity of the sounding of 90% of the beats he's made.
Ooh, we see you, Alan Lewis. We'll jump on that list in a second, but all right, we got you. Because you put in like...
That's my only thing with him. And see, with me, like the sound of your drums and things like that, that's very important to me.
Okay. I will give it to you
once. It's great, but hearing it like over
all the time,
album and all the time, like that's his go-to move.
Yeah,
it's cool. Again,
he hasn't pivoted.
He's got the one thing I say, consistency thing. He's got that.
Yeah,
he's consistent with his drums.
Yeah,
and he's consistent with like his output too. He put out a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah,
he's worked with a lot of different artists, and you got that. He has made a cultural impact.
Yes.
Even though I don't like he filled the void. His group filled the void that I was like, ugh. I guess they had to fill the void. And Tiny Morgan and all the other people that came after.
No.
All those groups that kind of came after. Yeah. 9th Wonder was, Little Brother was the what ushered in that.
David Johnson. What's up, Jay? What's up, David Johnson?
We're on number 10.
We're on number 10. I think he's talking about Alan Lewis or somebody put in their top 15, and I don't think he had Just Blaze on there. But
I'm gonna let you know right now. Yeah. Spoilers. There's no Just Blaze in my top 15 or top 20. Sorry.
Spoilers. Just Blaze is not going to be on the show. Just Blaze, who also watches this show.
Yes,
big
Blaze.
shout out to you.
Oh, what up, Just? What up, Just?
Got, you know what I'm saying? Got much love for you, but unfortunately, you didn't make the list.
If it's top 25, I'll put him in there.
Yeah. I think
for me, top 25. He's definitely like number 22.
There's some people that got cut from this list that I'm a little mad at myself, but I think
we should do a who got cut from the list. We'll wrap it up with that.
So, what's your number 9?
Number 9 is Primo.
Okay.
Go ahead. Primo with me, like he wins on the cultural impact, definitely.
Yes.
He wins on the consistency, like career-wise, like longevity, definitely on that, and originality, because no one sounded like Primo before Primo.
Yeah, nobody at all. Even people that kind of tried to copy Primo don't really. They don't really. Yeah.
Primo is Primo. Like he's known. Like Primo's like that's a name. You say Primo, you know what we're talking about. DJ Premier, so people who don't know. DJ Premier, but he's known as in the hip hop community Primo. You say Primo, you know what we're talking about. Oh, Primo.
Yeah.
So he's definitely my number 9. I just literally just switched some things around to put him. Cause I actually had 9, a list of 9. I forgot the 10, and I'm like, okay, Kanye cannot be before Primo in no way, in no shape or how.
Yeah.
But so I put Primo number 9 on my list. What do you think about Primo?
Oh,
what's your thoughts
Open Mind said Kanye is not a producer; he's a beat remixer. I don't know. That'll be. We'll get into that. We'll get into debate for that. So my number 9 is Flying Lotus. Flying Lotus is someone who a lot of people will say that kind of came through on the Adult Swim kind of bumps train, and he won because of that. Or he won because he sounded like Dilla, or he won because whatever. But since then, not only has he continued to make very unique and interesting soundscapes from one spectrum to the other, but he's transcended from just being a beat maker. Because now he's been making songs with few artists, from Kendrick to Thundercat or whatever. Arcka. And he's been extremely strong. Flying Lotus, I think, is someone who is overlooked because of his perceived weirdness. But I think he deserves to be high on anyone's list. Maybe he's not on your top 10, but I think he's a lot doper than people give him credit for because he stays so low-key. I think Flying Lotus is going to be another one of those guys, when he dies, people are going to go be like, oh, snap. Man, he made so much stuff. Yeah, see, you shouldn't have slept. But it's because he's dropped a lot of stuff between EPs, between full albums, between songs with other people.
Yeah, he's scored stuff too.
Scored stuff. Yeah. So Flying Lotus is someone who came under the guise of just a beat maker at first, but has definitely evolved in someone who has made great songs and has filled this, maybe not a void, but bridge the gap between just a beat maker or just hip hop and kind of like our comic book sci-fi side of hip hop. Video gamey kind of stuff where he started to branch out and get into like this sci-fi feel with like Cosmogramma. We covered that album. Los Angeles will be on here sooner or later. But that's my joint. But Until the Quiet Comes, just he knows his way around music, and just incredible talent.
I would say the meeting of minds with Thundercat has definitely impacted his style. In the last 10 years pretty much now. Yeah. Cause so I would there's one other person I'll say there's not a caveat, but it's I would add them to Flying Lotus and Thundercat's name in it next to because his impact on Flying Lotus' style was very unique and very okay. And I think in the last 10 years that made him blossom and grow to the artist, the producer, the artist that we know now.
Okay, so once he met him, that opened him up.
And then for me, that made me open up yo, this dude is really good because he became into his own sound basically.
Yeah.
So okay.
All right, so your number 8?
My number 8 is Pharrell.
Okay. All right, so
or Neptunes, however you want to say Neptunes, Pharrell, how you want to say.
Neptunes didn't make my list. It was tough.
And he's from Virginia.
I'm from VA.
And Pharrell's on my list.
Because I wanted to be fair. I didn't want to make this list VA heavy because I figured you guys would be coming at me like, you just from Virginia, so you putting everybody in from Virginia.
I'm putting Pharrell on my list because that dude is
hip-hop.
He's hip-hop, in my opinion. He's hip-hop personified. To the point where like he's made commercial stuff. He's made grimy stuff. You got grinding, which is probably the most
grinding is probably one of the most
grimiest beat of all time, pretty much. That is that beat is crazy. So
it's funny how amazing in its simplicity it is.
Yeah, he brought that in too. Like you think even the Drop It Like It's Hot beat. That's a very simple beat too. But it got. It got something about it. Like
he understands kick drums on another level. Yeah. Like he knows if you got a box in your trunk, he gonna hook you up. Like Pharrell gonna hook you up.
I feel Pharrell is always good at like matching the artist. There's only one artist that he hasn't done a good match with. But for the most part, every artist is common.
Yeah, but see, I was wondering
if
that was something.
Universal Mind Control?
I was wondering.
Don't listen to it.
What I was saying is, I wonder if that was something that Common picked instead of something that Pharrell had for.
They did a whole album together, man.
Yeah, that's
true. It was
true.
Suspect.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right.
But other than that, Pharrell with most artists, great. Mystical, Noriega.
Yeah.
All the stuff with
all the stuff with Justin Timberlake.
I was gonna say Justin Timberlake.
Stuff with Janet. Stuff with Destiny's Child. Stuff with
Jay-Z.
Noriega. No, you said Noriega already.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Just he's been everywhere, done everything.
He's got his stamp on every like genre, like outside that hip hop is attached to pretty much.
Pharrell.
And he can do it all, like and then Robin Thicke, you know,
Robin Thicke.
He wrote,
straight up, like, see, number one producer everyone loved was Roger Nelson. I don't know.
You talking about Prince?
I guess
Prince Rogers Nelson.
Maybe
that's what you talking about, Prince. Yeah, he's talking about Prince.
Yeah.
Prince
Usher. Yeah, he did do stuff with Usher.
Usher too.
That was my Usher. See, Usher, my Usher is My Way and 8701. That's my Usher.
Yeah,
that's my Usher.
You don't get the call.
Yeah, that's when like when you had that. It was still R&B. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Pharrell. I'm from VA, so I'm gonna say Pharrell not only on hip hop, Pharrell on NERD. Was able to make some
bouncing around.
Yo, there's the NERD. Now, of course, their later stuff has been.
She Wants to Move's my jam.
Man, whoo. Yeah. Man, now I know people might harp on their later stuff, but Nerd is hot.
NERD, even that Clones album that came out.
Yeah, the Clones
Neptunes album.
Clones album has. Is it? Hold on.
Busta Rhymes. You forgot about Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes.
Because he's on the album too. But I just thought about Busta Rhymes. The collabs is just like Passive
Is Nelly on Clones or Nelly's on the other one?
I think Nelly's on the other one.
Nelly's on the other one.
Might be on
But
Clones.
the other joint that Neptunes did has my favorite Nelly song. If I could take you around the world, if I could take you around the world.
That may be another one.
Like that joint.
Yeah, Jadakiss
Big Shorty, would you be my
Jadakiss
girl?
too. He did stuff with Jadakiss too.
So yeah. So Pharrell, you know I'm from VA, so I'm gonna give Pharrell all that love.
Pharrell's my number 8.
Amazing producer.
He's got the.
He was on my list, but I pushed him off because I was like, look, I can't have.
He's got the originality. He's got the career longevity.
Yep.
He's got the consistency.
Definitely.
And he's got the cultural impact.
Yep. He's definitely there. So my number 8.
Number 8.
DJ High Tech.
See, I thought about High Tech.
See, me and you were like Pharrell and High Tech.
The reason why I didn't put him on is because of the longevity.
See, that's why he's high on mine. But you know what? You're right. Given that, it's weird because see, High Tech even more so than Ninth Wonder is someone who, when I know hip hop has changed when it comes to regions, but what people would consider traditional hip hop, when hip hop needed someone. High Tech was that dude. High Tech was there for the Raucous days, all those artists that if it wasn't for him, they would not have been getting laced. And like they did not have the money to afford no Pete Rock.
He's from Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's from
Cincinnati. That's the craziest part. That he was doing hip hop that sounded like it was from New York. Yeah. All I gotta say is right now, Respiration is one of my favorite beats of all time.
Yo,
that beat is.
It's hypnotic. It's got a trance to it, man. And then the awesome rhymes over. Yo.
Common, Most, Quality, like that's one of my favorite songs like all time. Cause when I hear that, I just like go into that zone like yo.
With you saying that,
roll high on the top of the list, I'm like yeah.
With you saying that, little known fact, I wrote a paper on Respiration. Respiration. Right. I wrote a paper on that. That's how much I love that song.
That song is it's one of my favorite songs.
I wrote a paper on that song.
Like it's just like
breaking down all their lyrics and breaking down the music and how it was used.
The video is great too.
Man, the video is great. And the video shows old New York, before the gentrification. So, but Hi-Tech is just someone who has quietly been able to, I don't know, help people that probably normally would not be able to get good beats, and he's come through for them. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people that you know them cats and rockers could not afford no real dope beats.
But they had Geology and Sean J. Period. 88 Keys, man.
Okay.
Sean J. Period.
All right. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, before I go there, 88 Keys, Geology, Sean J. all made some good stuff, but I don't feel that they were on Hi-Tech's level. And I know that sounds weird,
Deep in the Night, man.
Yeah, but dude, you're talking about one beat.
But 88 has done like most quality.
Yeah, he does.
I wouldn't.
I feel out of that period, I don't feel like 88 went anywhere.
I wouldn't include 88 with those other dudes. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Then I'll take 88 out.
Because 88, he did No Church in a While, so we're gonna.
Okay. We'll take 88 out.
He's done some stuff secretly behind the scenes.
Okay, I'll take 88 out. I know 88 watches the show. 88
What up,
Keys.
88?
What up? How's it going? I'm not trying to diss you. I'm just saying that from my perception, it didn't seem like out of that period you really broke out and did anything. But then you could also fire back and say that DJ Hi-Tech, once he started doing stuff for G Unit.
I thought you were gonna take your fire back at you. Like, you didn't do that. I was like, what?
Like, you didn't do nothing. You ain't make no beats. All you do is listen.
Yeah, since when Hi-Tech, if you bring up this one person, I'm gonna bring it up. But until now, I'm not gonna bring his name up yet. Right. But Hi-Tech, once he went to the whole G Unit's phase or whatever, he kind of fizzled out a little bit. That's why
he gave them some heat though.
He gave them heat, but after that, what happened to Hi-Tech? Well, that's Hi-Tech beat you heard.
Dang.
That's why I say longevity.
I wonder what they did to him. I don't know. But anyway, that's why.
I'll tell you the reason why. And all the producers, when they
yeah.
If you mention this other person, because there's other VA person, I'm gonna bring his name up then. All right. So
Hi-Tech, my number 8 though.
My number 7 is someone that was already mentioned.
All right.
Flying Lotus. So we don't really need to talk about him. Because we already talked about him. Because I feel the same way you feel about Flying Lotus. I feel like, with me, I'm more on the later end of Flying Lotus. That's really like captivated my imagination. Like, oh, these can be done. Yo, he's bringing these sounds in, like these kind of jazz chords and just jazz like feeling to it, and it's like very
sci-fi jazz, hip hop-ish.
Very, very Sun Ra too. Like there's a Sun Ra vibe to it too.
Big shout out to speaking of Sun Ra. Sun Ra, Sarah.
All the Ra's, you saying? Mum Ra?
Mum Ra too.
Mum Ra.
But all those cats, like the Blink 47 cats, like they all had some unique stuff going.
Yeah, Sarah, all three of them dudes do some crazy stuff.
Yeah. And that's an album that we're going to talk about sooner or later. I love Sarah.
Keith, man, what he's been doing production-wise, Omaz Keith is crazy, man.
And I think you put me on the Sarah. I can't remember who did.
It was definitely me. It probably was like Susie or somebody.
All right, cool.
She was all about that life.
All right, well, yeah, So, my next,
who's your 7?
My 7. DJ Scratch.
Okay, see, I have no problem with that.
I know it seems weird.
No, it's not weird.
But DJ Scratch is another one of those. See, if you've noticed, my 10 to 6 are some of them are like these silent guys where it's like, huh? But then you start looking at credits and you're like, oh snap!
I wouldn't put DJ Scratch on like my unsung list. If I had an unsung list,
DJ Scratch has made a lot of fire, from EPMD to Redman to Method Man to Jay to like just.
You're forgetting the main guy, Busta Rhymes.
Oh yeah, damn,
he's based all of Busta Rhymes albums.
Like yeah, he's every. Look, if you're from New York and you're dope, Scratch probably made
Onyx, you. He did the beats for Onyx too.
Yeah, the joints for Onyx when they came back out when Def Jam did
Shut
their
him
last
down. Shut him down.
Shut him down. But also when Def Jam did their last push, you know when like DMX was coming out.
Yeah, that Shut Him Down. That was a Shut Him Down album.
So like
Def Squad, DMX, and Shut Him Down.
Yeah,
and Shut Him Down came out around the same exact time.
Yeah,
I know because my brother bought all 3 albums.
Well, I remember because there was like this big, huge. It was in it. Looking back in history now, it seems sad because it looks like it was Def Jam's last push for. I don't know if I hate using the term real hip hop because it's not. Real is a perception, but I mean, I think the last real push for hip hop that wasn't specifically catered towards materialism. Maybe that's. You know, because at that time, materialism was winning hard.
It's more of a feel, man. It's a feel. It's a feeling like that they were like. It was like a final.
It seemed like a last push
for Def Jam. Yeah, Def Jam definitely changed after that.
Yeah, way changed a lot. But yeah, DJ Scratch, just tons of joints. The Method Man and Redman album, whoo, man. Yeah. DJ Scratch has some fire. It is a random, low-key, quiet, humble guy that you would just not unassuming.
And he can DJ his ass off.
Yeah. And he's a real DJ
in front of his name is not just like, oh, he's DJ Scratch. No, this man can DJ his ass off. And in the likes of Jazzy Jeff, who I feel is the greatest DJ I've ever seen before.
Yes, DJ Jeff is my favorite DJ.
And Scratch are like, you can pick either one. On a DJ level.
Let's see. We got Missy Timbaland, Ninth Prince,
myself.
Swizz.
Did you say myself?
Oh, maybe I think he put himself. I guess.
Okay.
DJ produced LL Cool J. Yeah. So it's DJ Scratch is he's incredible and should be on your list. He's kind of like quietly dope.
Yeah, he's like, if you don't know his name, I mean, you would know his music, but the name is not like, oh, DJ Scratch. Oh, yeah, DJ Scratch. He's not like a producer. He's not like a Swizz Beatz kind of producer. Like that. Like, he's not rapping on tracks and like that. He's not like.
Oh, Diddy. Open Mind said yes myself. So
he's not like on Diddy. Like, he's not like Diddy, like all on the beats.
Yo, the funny thing is, all right, straight up, I'm watching music videos at work, and what is it? Juicy is on, and I started, Juicy is on, so I watched that. And then after that, Flavor in Your Ear remix came on. And I literally started busting out laughing because I was like, you know what? He is all in the video.
All in the video, all on your song.
I was like, yo, he is all in the video. All in the front. Like,
Suge was right about one thing, and that was one thing he was right about.
He was all in the video.
All in the video.
Oh, man. All right. So what you got next?
My number 6 is a man now only known by one name.
Okay.
Pete Rock. It's my number 6.
Okay. All right.
Pete Rock has the beats, has a longevity. Yeah. He definitely has culturally impacted hip-hop.
Yes.
You cannot write the book of hip-hop and not mention Pete Rock.
That's right.
He's had many hits.
Many
hits. Worked with many artists.
Yes.
Even to today. You
know? I would consider a legend in hip hop.
Yes, a legend. As Primo and him are like, those were like people. It was like Primo and Pete Rock arguments were like Prince and Michael arguments.
Yeah, it was kind of like
Who you like better, Primo or Pete?
Okay, yeah.
I was on the Pete side because I like Pete because Pete. I don't know, just wait. He just had a style that, like, It just felt like he pushed things like so far in terms of like what you can do with a sampler.
Yeah. He definitely. What up, King Hebrew? What up? Nice to see you in the chat. Pete Rock was one of those people that were able to pull these samples and tweak them in ways that you wouldn't think.
I feel he was He was like a scientist, you know, like he was.
Yeah, because I mean,
chemist.
you know, there are
these
people.
chemicals.
Yeah, because there are people that just kind of sometimes just like, yo, let's just loop this up. Yeah. And I don't think Pete was like, okay, let's take this part and just loop it up, but then let's take these 5 parts and be like.
Yeah,
like,
Pete was.
And like, so you'll be like, oh, I know where that comes from, but when you put the headphones on, you're like. Hold on, where is that sound? Because like, you know, when you're on the radio, you don't really, but when you put the cans on and you're like, yo, this,
the cans.
When you put the over-ear headphones, the closed back over-ear
headphones. No AirPods and ear.
When you put those joints on and you start to hear like, yo, there are so many intricacies in this beat. Pete Rock is one of those guys, man.
He has the consistency. He has a style. It's his own style, like this Pete Rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So who's your number 6?
My number 6, and we've already talked about him. DJ Premier. DJ Premier. Quintessential New York hip hop. I think that's what I would say.
And he's not even from New York.
Wow.
You know, kind of born and like raised in Texas.
Wow.
Came to New York in like, you know, the 80s or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, not even from New York. I mean, there's something.
Wow.
Like, it wasn't like
it's
born
funny
and raised
because
in New York.
It's funny because when you think of a primo beat, you think of like this is New York.
Yeah,
New York. This is New York.
That
like,
was the New
If
York
I could take New York in a sound, it's primo. You know what I'm saying?
Down.
The scratches, the cuts, the very boom bap.
He was boom bap.
Yeah, what he did for I was about to go. What he did for KRS-One, Return of the Boom Bap. Whoo, that man. He laced. When a lot of people talk about Gangstar, but when Primo did stuff with KRS-One, whoo. Yeah. Talk about white hot fire.
Primo laced. He had a good
5
or 6 year run of like in the late 90s, early 2000s, where he was like lacing Nas.
Yeah, because he was hot, then he kind of chilled for a second, then he got hot again.
He was getting all the bigger artists, all Lox, Jadakiss.
Yep.
Who else got a and then that was the thing, you had to get a primo beat. Remember that was the thing,
it was like a rite of passage.
Like a hip hop rite of passage was primo.
I gotta have a primo beat.
You gotta go to D&D Studios.
Yep.
And do record it. Even Ludacris went to D&D Studios and recorded.
Yeah.
And the beats that he got was crazy.
Man, Ludacris, just because, there's something about Ludacris that people don't want to give him his props.
Nah, Ludacris can rap his ass off, man.
Ludacris is a rapping fool, let me tell you.
Animal when it comes to
rhymes. I remember the first time I heard him, I did not want to give him credit. Let's see, Jamal Lee, he didn't do hip hop. I'm naming people who compose music. Oh, okay. All right, the first time I heard Fat Rabbit with Ludacris and Timbaland, I was like,
Tim's bio.
Yeah, I was like, this is a dumb song. But, that man, but a friend of mine loved that song so much. And now when I hear that song, I'm just like, this is perfect. Whoo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ludacris.
And one of the funniest things I always think about Ludacris, that fantasy joint with smack a little booty up with my belt, scream help. Like, it's one of the funniest joints. It's funny, but it's dope.
This is the thing about certain artists, like Outkast, Ludacris, Exhibit. They're regional, but they're not regional.
Yeah,
because they kind of respected the hip hop of New York to we have to rap.
Yeah,
we can't just talk about Google Gaga. We gotta actually have to rap. And those dudes rap, so it didn't feel like they were from their area. They had the twang from the area, but it was
they still had the wordplay, they had the delivery, they had their own charisma.
And that's what I liked about those artists, because they're like, these guys actually respected it, and they didn't trash. Now we're gonna do our own thing, and we're not gonna respect where things came from.
Yeah. So now we're in our top 5. It's about to get real now. Tippy top, number 5. What you got?
My top 5 actually is Q-Tip. Speaking of Tippy.
Ooh, Q-Tip. He's done a lot of joints.
Q-Tip. He's got the cultural impact.
Yes, he does.
He's without Tip, you wouldn't have Tribe.
Without Tip, no Tribe. Without Tip, someone else who we're going. Well, no, I don't think. that person probably would have shined without Tip. I think it would have taken longer, but I think that person would have shined.
Production-wise?
Yeah, the person that I'm thinking about. Because, all right, who did Tip introduce to... Who did Tip introduce many of the hip-hop community to?
Oh, Dilla.
Yeah. But
Dilla would have been.
Dilla would have shined. I think it would have taken longer, but Dilla would have shined. But we ain't talking about Tip.
Who did Tip introduce to the world? Well, because Tip was kind of like the.
But see, at that time, you also still had the Beat Junkies picking up that Slum Village album and starting to like spin it. Okay. So I think it would have taken a little longer. Okay. But I think Dilla it would have happened.
Yeah, it would have happened.
It just would have happened.
Yeah, because it was actually Ann Fiddler that brought him to Tip.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Ann Fiddler's like, y'all got this guy, and then when they did a tour, and when the tour stopped in Detroit, that's when they met. And then he gave him that beat tape, and Tip's mind.
Tip was just like, this is stupid.
He was like, and then he played to Dave from De La Soul, whatever. And he's like, yeah, these beats sound better than yours, or whatever. That's what he said to him. He's like, keep my tape back.
Give me this damn tape.
So Tip is mine because he has. I give Tip because like Tip is quietly like. Is a quiet producer, like DJ Scratch, where like you didn't know what he did, but he did a lot of stuff in hip hop.
When you start listing out what he did,
the Infamous would not have sounded the way it sounded without Q-Tip. He had his imprint on that album.
Those unconventional melodies under this like hard street sound is what Tip gave them.
Yeah. And then you have the Uma. You have the whole influence of the Uma, the whole Ali Shaheed Muhammad, Dilla, Raphael Sadiq, that whole umbrella, that whole branch of production style. He was trying to mimic the Hitmakers.
Yeah.
Diddy had. So his Hitmakers was the Uma. So Dilla was under that umbrella. So you have that. You have like even like his solo albums, which you have Amplified, which was basically like Dilla and Q-Tip together.
Yeah, which is Amplified still is just like
that thing hits.
We'll talk about it.
And those Uma remixes and stuff like that was. Dilla, but like those one
of my favorite remixes is sometimes who is it? Brand New Heavies.
Ooh.
That joint I can listen to repeat maybe like 5 times in a row before I skip. Sometimes remix. Look at it. Sometimes Uma remix. It's essentially Dilla's remix, but it says the Uma remix. But man, just the.
My favorite Uma remix is the Keith Murray rhyme remix.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. That's a hot one. That's a hot one.
Yeah. So like the stuff that Q-Tip has put his palms on have always been great stuff.
And he's opened the doors for like you said, like bringing us.
Artists,
yeah.
So I feel like culturally he's culture. Without Tip,
Q-Tip is one of those other guys who kind of Q-Tip because you got a Q, but he kind of Quincy Jones'd a lot of guys when he like kind of opened the door and like introduced this person to this person and that person to that person.
Because even Rod Digger was working with Tip too.
Because Digger was working with Tip, and Tip was like, you know what, she's real raw. Yo, Buster, why don't you work? And then
because he was going through the whole turmoil with Tribe at the time, so he didn't. His mind was not there to But there's some tracks with her and Tip on some tracks, some like unreleased stuff. So like Tip is.
Manny Fresh. They must be talking about Manny Fresh.
That's why we had to do other list. Other list.
We'll one day we'll do the unsung guys that aren't on this list. But my number 5.
Who's your number 5?
My number 5. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre.
I knew someone was gonna mention his name.
Dr. Dre. So look, regardless of what you think about him, culturally relevant, did a whole lot for West Coast hip hop. Now, of course,
did he do it, or was it someone else behind the scenes with him?
Okay.
Co-producing.
Okay.
Daz. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Daz Dillinger. Sorry, I had something's falling on my tongue. Daz Dillinger. He should also be mentioned, just like the same thing with Thundercat.
All right, so
Dr. Dre,
Daz Dillinger. Just brought something new to the table. Just those old funk sounds. I think
G-Funk, man. G-Funk.
Yeah, that G-Funk.
You don't have no West Coast without Dre. So, yeah, you got to mention him. He's not on my list, but yeah.
Yeah, there's no West Coast hip-hop, essentially, without Dre. You do have DJ Quick, who I did give a lot of thought to, but I don't think
He's the top on my unsung list.
Yeah, but Quick, I don't think, unfortunately, had the relevancy of a Dre. And it's probably just
Quick
because
also helped Dre produce some stuff too.
Oh, okay. So it's man, Dre is so many people. Even in the Aftermath days, a lot of people forget those years, but there was some heat in those years too. And then coming back, of course, on the train, riding on the train with Eminem and all that stuff. But he was able to not only impact the game and kind of change what people's ears were listening for in hip hop, but also was able to stay in the game, even through the rough times, the real building years for Aftermath. Yeah. But then come back and show that he was able to do it again with people like G-Unit, with people like Eminem, and then also score some movies. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Busta. So Dre has switched his style, say 2-3 times during his career, and has always been able to bring that knock. And that many years in the game, and that culturally relevant with the NWA stuff, with the Snoop stuff, even with his own stuff. Got to give it to him. Number 5, definitely.
Sonically, probably the best sounding beats all time. Sonically, this. I hear everything. These drums are knocking.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Especially the later, towards the 2001 era.
Yeah, the Busta area.
Stuff like that. It was crazy.
Yeah,
so I have nothing bad to say about Dre, really, except when producers meet him, they change their style. That's how good he was.
Yeah, Dre.
High Tech. That's what I said.
High Tech changed his style.
Nottz changed his style.
Nottz, who isn't on my list, but trust me, I'm from VA.
That's what I'm saying. If you were gonna mention Nottz, I was gonna say that he's the one that changed his style when he met Dre. Yeah. All of them changed his style. They were never the same after they met Dre.
Yeah.
Even Dilla changed his style when he met Dre.
Yeah, and
he was doing all original beats.
Yeah, that's when he went to. Is that when he went to his kind of out there kind of sounding, but it was still original beats? Was that time or no?
No, it's more like 2001, around 2001.
Okay.
It's I would say
because we'll have to go through a timeline with him.
It's beat tapes. You hear some beat tapes. This is all original stuff he was doing.
Yeah, Nottz is definitely very underrated. Just stuff we did with Busta is what caught my attention.
Yeah.
And just killer. But your number 4, sir.
My number 4 is Madlib.
Ooh, that's right. Loop Pack.
That dude is one of the most... in terms of output, in terms of how much music this man is making, he's making 10 beats as I'm speaking this right now. That man has produced, he's made so many beats. He's a beat maker.
Yeah. He makes beats.
He makes beats.
When you talk about those dudes that's in the basement with the drum machine, that's Madlib.
But the albums that is produced by him in terms of Mad Villainy, Quasimodo,
yes,
Loop Pack, those albums, those are produced Madlib albums, and it has his imprint over the whole album. You can tell he's has those crazy skits on it. He's got those beats that just banging like always. But I feel like his collaborations are his best works.
Word.
You have the beat tapes, the movie sounds 1 and 2, crazy.
Definitely.
The Indian one is okay. If you're into Indian music, hearing for hour and a half, cool. But it got some bangers on it though.
Yeah, it's got some bangers.
Some joints.
It's got some valleys, but many peaks.
And then you had the Dill with a Suite. You had the Rock Conductor. Got some bangers on it too. So Madlib's self-produced stuff is great. But I feel like the amount of music that man has made and the amount of records he's listened to, he's if it was a race, and he's on the the 20th marathon, while we're just getting to the first marathon.
Yeah, he's incredible, man. Madlib, he didn't make my list.
Surprised.
It was tough, man. It was tough. I was trying, because I was like, the reason he didn't make my list is because I wanted him there, but I was like, you know what? He did change the culture, but at the same time, he didn't. And then I was like, it's weird.
I think he changed the underground culture.
Yeah. And see, that's why I was struggling. There's two people I struggled with a lot in this one was Madlib and Nottz. Those two I struggled with a lot because I feel like they definitely got the work in, and Madlib, since we're on him, I'll stay on him. But it's just, I don't know, it was tough for me to put him in there. But I'm glad you got him in there because now I can talk about Madlib.
Bruh. Just like how people say, like, he did Thriller, like Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
he did Mad Villainy.
He did Mad Villainy.
Bro, he did Mad Villainy.
And Mad Villainy changed a lot. Changed a lot. And it's funny because it's weird. Mad Villainy didn't particularly change music or hip-hop music, but there was a shift in, I think, what people realized was possible with hip-hop. Because of how Doom approached the album and how Madlib approached the album. And you were like, what? Because think about it. At that point in time when it dropped, and I'll go on out on a limb and say this. Many people might not agree, but Mad Villain is essentially a concept album. When's the last time you've seen a concept album revered like this and supported like this and critically acclaimed like this? Especially in the time that it dropped. Yeah. Like, nobody was doing concept albums. And if they were, nobody was tripping over them. You know what I'm saying? So, Madlib is just dope.
Get on chat because I turned off the.
All right, let me.
Who's your fourth?
My fourth, Pete Rock.
Okay.
We've already talked about him, so we ain't
all said and understood.
Pretty much all said. It's understood. Kind of Mount Rushmore cat, at least for me.
We're gonna probably be matching these next.
We're gonna be matching these last three. These last three, we already know we're gonna be.
Now your order is gonna be interesting.
Order's gonna be very interesting.
Okay, so.
But Pete Rock is my number 4. We already touched on it. So here we go, guys. Here we go. The top 3 producers. Who's your number 3?
Timbaland.
Timbaland's
number 3 on mine.
Timbaland number 3. Go ahead.
Then you already know what number 1 and 2. But you don't know what order I have them in though.
So you don't know my order.
Okay. So Timbaland. Since the first time I heard 1 in a Million, I'm like, what is this? It was like a new sound. It was like you.
It's like, who is this?
Like you creep into another world, pretty much. It's like, it was slow but fast.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
How's I'm moving fast but it's moving slow too?
Yeah.
He basically defined a BPM. 70 BPM. Back in the days, if you made beats in 70 BPM, it would be a Timbaland beat.
Yeah.
He defined, like, that's unheard of, where he like took a speed that no one really, untapped speed.
Open Mind said Dark Child.
Rodney Jerkins? Yeah, right.
Nah.
Good one. So Timbo, like, and this is my one little small, and Missy.
Yeah, Missy, because
like,
Missy being one, there, yeah.
Like Timbaland, the beats he made for Missy?
Yeah. Even that new stuff like Triple Threat and what is it? Triple Threat.
Ninth Inning?
Ninth Inning and Triple Threat. Whoo! Timbaland just incredible, man.
So
incredible.
Timbaland, like longevity, clearly longevity. Originality, clearly originality.
Yes.
Cultural impact, yes.
And not only that,
consistency.
But consistency, and he's changed the sound. Anything he did with Justin Timberlake doesn't sound like anything he did with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Or anything he did with Jay-Z doesn't sound like anything that he did with Missy. Or the stuff that he did for Twista. Now, I know he only did like 2 or 3 songs with Twista, but boy, were they an amazing pair. I'm still mad we didn't get that Timbaland and Twista album. Because they teased it in something like Source or something like that. He like did an interview where he was like, yeah, it's a Timbaland and Twista album. And I'm like, when?
When?
But
yeah. Timbaland is... Like I just like experiment. Like This is gonna be one other person we're talking about. He fits in the category where like he's a one of one.
Yeah. There's no other Timbaland.
There's no other Timbaland. There can't be no other Timbaland because his style was so big.
Yeah.
And so like this is my style.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this and you can't copy it because if you copy it, you're just literally copying off mine.
Yeah.
You're gonna try to do it. He experimented too a lot.
Yeah.
With putting like crickets and chirping, birds chirping and
baby sounds
and stuff like that. Who was doing that? Nobody.
Man, and
Timbaland ushered that in, and beatboxing too.
Yeah.
So that goes right to the hip hop. He took one of the elements of hip hop, beatboxing.
Yeah, he would take like and beat me 911 like. It would just and it'd be like you'd be like what? Huh?
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
So
beautiful, man.
He if there's a branch of hip hop, he's part of that branch because he did that on the he brought something to the table that was always hip hop and he made it fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he put it into beats. So like, yo, that's crazy. Even like he impacted my style. You know what I'm saying? These next top three definitely impacted. These top three are my style. You put it all together, that's where I got my style from.
Yo, man, it's real quick to the live chat. Shout out to Open Mind, Alan Lewis, Max Evans,
what up?
everybody else. Shot by Nolan, all you guys. My number three.
Number three.
The RZA.
RZA Sharp.
Man. The RZA.
Robert. Bobby Digital.
Bobby.
Digi. Bobby Stills.
The RZA is someone who...
Resurrector.
Yo. Okay. Not only changed hip-hop as far as the sound.
Wu-Tang.
But changed the business model of hip-hop.
Wu-Tang.
The RZA... Open mind. RZA is Wu-Tang. Yes. I don't think there's a Wu-Tang without the RZA.
No.
I'll venture to say this. Now, of course, people would be like, everybody sounds different. But I think if you got those 8 guys together with another great producer, say someone else who's amazingly talented, say if you got them together with like Premier, you would still not get the Wu-Tang that we have today.
RZA had the vision. That's what RZA had at that.
Yeah.
I told before last week, 2 weeks ago when we talked about it.
Yeah.
I was just breaking it down. RZA's RZA from 93 to 97 was supernova.
Yeah.
He was the hottest producer.
You're talking about
the height that he
who
reached was crazy.
All right, let's break them down. And all of these are hip hop classics. 36 Chambers. Then you got followed up with Tikal. I was about to say the Tikal, but it's Tikal. The Tikal.
Then Return to the
Return to 36 Chambers. ODB. Man, Brooklyn Zoo. That beat. God. Jesus. Anyway, so after Return, then you had, it was Ray's album.
Yes.
So Cuban Links. Then
Jizza.
Yep. I thought Ghostface came before Jizza. My bad.
No.
Jizza.
Dirty Ray Jizza.
So yeah, Jizza. So then Jizza. Someone who you thought would be boring on the mic. Someone who you thought would be like, this is kind of throwaway. Someone who you thought would be like the Black Widow movie of the MCU.
Wow. It hasn't even come out. You already shooting it down. Wow. What if they recast?
I'm going to say this. A Black Widow movie will do fine. Keep that budget low. I'm going to just say keep that budget low.
What if they recast? Because it's going to be in the past. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, what if they don't use Scarlett Johansson?
Wow.
They can recast.
Well, no, they already said they're using her. And she's
they're going to make a young face? They're going to give it a young face?
We'll see.
Like they gave Sammy the young face?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But...
We've seen some of her solo movies, though. It's not too well. Too good.
Nah.
All right, back to Wu-Tang.
But
back to the RZA.
Jizza. What? The Jizza album had... So, Jizza, Flame Hot. Then you had the Ghost joint.
Iron Man.
Iron Man was on some other shit. Straight up.
And then you have Wu-Tang Forever.
Wu-Tang Forever.
Crazy.
Go
ahead.
Those albums, I would dare say, in that period of time, surpasses the longevity that he doesn't have because it was so hot. And not only were the albums hot, but the business model he put together to make his sound spider out. The way, now I know this is a little off music, but the way they affected culture, the way they, thank you. So clothes, what I mean by like culture, clothes, shoes, style. Also the business model of making a crew and then everybody in the crew having their albums. Wu-Tang changed hip hop in many different ways, and that would not have been without the sound, the successful sound of the RZA. The RZA brought us something, the RZA brought us a true gift, straight up. And I don't think anybody would have been able to do it, and he's incredible.
And you know, they even like putting the skits into the albums.
Yeah,
like that.
figuring
like,
out the skits.
Like people used to like little skits in, but he actually like made it a movie. He made it. The reason why I say RZA like is more of the cinematic feel of his music. Yeah. He was the MCU before the MCU.
Yeah, you know
RZA is the
RZA made the MCU
the Kevin
of
Feige
the hip hop.
He's Kevin Feige
of
the Wu-Tang.
Because if you listen to 36 Chambers on through to Wu-Tang Forever, there's definitely a through line of just sonic sounds and like a family vibe. Like every album had everybody there. So it was like looking at a comic book where it's like, oh, this is the Fantastic Four, but you never know Spider-Man
might be there, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or the Hulk might show
up.
They
were true to the name, the acronym of the name. Back then, witty, unpredictable. You never knew what they were gonna come out with. Yeah. It just the way it just impacted everything. Like, oh, Method Man's on Def Jam. Oh, Ray's on Stone Loud. Oh, Jizz is on MCA or Gettin at the time. Like, wow, they're just coming out on different labels too. Yeah. And then they come back together.
Yo.
And it's like
it's incredible, man.
Crazy.
Also, David Johnson said, "Don't forget the first Gravediggers album." Yeah, Gravediggers.
Oh, six feet deep,
man.
I got hit for that late in the game.
Hot fire.
Like 3-4 years ago, late in the game. But
hot
bruh,
fire.
That first Gravedigger album, woo,
hot fire.
Fire.
Real flame.
Fire. Yeah, that's 94. Just so you got Takal and that Gravedigger album came out the same year.
Yeah, like the output. Man, the output he did within that like 5-year period, 5-year period.
He had a 5-year plan. He talked about it. I got the Wu-Tang manual. I've read the Wu-Tang manual in a day. That man has impacted my life.
RZA, he got it. So you're
That's my number two.
Well, you know what? We covered number two.
And we are okay.
So I'm about to cover my number two.
Who's your number two?
James D. Yancey.
Okay.
Known as J Dilla.
AKA
JD.
The original JD.
The real JD.
Spell out.
That's right. JAYDEE. Yo. Dilla is someone I think best described by Moni Love when she said his beats got the feel good. Like when you turn on one of his beats and you're like, yeah. It's funky, jazzy, hip hoppy.
It's got soul, man.
It's got soul.
It's the soul stone of the He's got the soul stone beats, basically. Yeah, like it captures the soul, the essence of hip hop. Like
and never retreading his own stuff.
No.
A very Michael Jackson Prince style of kind of like that was last album.
Yeah,
you know that was then.
Moving on. We moving on. We off.
You know what I'm saying? Because as great as they are, Off the Wall don't sound nothing like Thriller, and Thriller don't sound nothing like Bad. You know what I'm saying? And Dilla was the same way, where every beat tape was like, it's similar, but he's turned like, all right. So this beat tape we're going here. This beat tape we're, and then this beat tape we might be taking a complete right. It is every time you hear it, you're like.
Yeah, he like he shedded his beat skin 7 or 8 times in his career, and his career is short,
very short. Unfortunately, because he passed away. One can only guess. Dilla is another one of those people, like Aaliyah. One can only guess where he or she would be now. where the industry would be now, where other producers would be now due to Dilla's presence if he was here. Big Pun is another one. Big Pun, his lyrical prowess, as popular as he was becoming, stuff like that, you know, Dilla was just someone who, you'll be hard pressed to find a whack Dilla beat. Like a bit, like you just like, oh, I hate this, and not you're hating because so many people love it, but like you just personally, objectively heard it and it just hit your ears and it was stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Never.
I don't think you'll ever find one.
Never. I've listened to hundreds,
I've listened
if
to
not
many,
thousands of Dilla beats.
I've listened to many a Dilla beat.
And I have yet to find one. Then maybe like one or two, I'm like, oh, okay. But it's, the thing about his beats for me,
you're grading him on him.
Yeah.
It's
everything he's done has been just interesting. Like, I never thought about that. Like, it's always that like, it's like everything, he checks all these boxes for like originality.
Yeah.
He could take a sample that you sampled. And you're like, wait, you sampled the thing? That's the same sample? You'll find it, but it's like, oh, I never thought about it that way.
One of my
he just makes it like simple but complex.
Here's a perfect example of how he makes things simple and complex. Oh, big shout out to Max Evans that said Wyclef was his number 3.
Okay.
When I think Questlove was the one that broke down the Doing It beat. And when he talked about, because Doing It, if you listen if you straight listen to it, first time I heard Doing It, I was like, yo, man, Common is back. And it sounds, this is a perfect example of Dilla, which I said before, deceptively simple. Because it sounds like, oh, doom, 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 doom. Oh, it's just doom, it's just a, but then when you hear where the sample comes from, and he's like, oh, he played this backwards and then spent that and then, and it's like, oh, so this was Rick James.
Rick James.
So how did he do it? And he's like, oh, well, he reversed this and then he turned that and you're like, huh. Cause normal people like Puff, the Beatmakers, not the Beatmakers, what's the Puffs people? The Hitmakers. The Hitmakers would have been like doom doom doom, doom 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 doom, doom doom. They would have probably did it straightforward like that. Dilla said, all right, how about this?
Yeah, he was the master.
How about I take this beat and pretzel it?
He was the master of the flip. Like the idea of flipping a beat, like flipping a sample, like that's people have sampled before. Yeah, but flipping it in a way where like you're not even knowing what. He
even flipped the joint. Pete Rock talks about the little brother joint.
Yeah, little brother.
Where
the Boy Ayers joint. Yeah.
Yeah, where the he flipped it. Pete Rock flipped it for an outro or something like that.
Yeah, for Main Ingredient, not Main Ingredient. The second Pete Rock was
So he flipped it for an outro or something.
Was it Mecca and Soul Brother? I can't remember which. It's either on one or two albums.
And Dilla took it and he uses a piece of it, but then ends up getting it to work for a song. A whole song. Yeah. And not only is it a dope sample, but then it becomes a dope song. Yeah. And it's because he's able to look at things. He's able to take your painting, like you got a painting like this, he's able to take that joint and say, and you'll be like, oh.
It's like sleight of hand.
You know, you'll be like, oh.
It's like sleight of hand. It's magician. It's like it's magic.
Yeah.
He's like sleight of hand. Like, oh no, it's not here anymore. Wait, what? I thought it was just there. Nope, not there anymore. He was a magician.
Yeah.
Like magician, scientist, chemist, alchemist, all of the chemists.
All the
he was all of this. And
Dilla.
He just. The reason why I'm going to be talking about more of this because he's obviously my number 1. So so Dilla, like for me, like only technically like a 12-year career because I count 94 because he was doing stuff in Detroit with a fat cat. Yeah, 95 is Far Side. So like he was so
Far Side is that's when I met him.
Up until his passing in 06. So like it's a 12-year career pretty much. Yeah. And he's made so much music with Dilla, with Bus, with like all these artists that and the thing is
and essentially formed the Soulquarians on the sneak.
It's not even the funny part about it is that he's respected by all musicians.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, hip hop, he's a hip hop dude. No, the stuff that he was doing even impressed people who play traditional music instruments,
Mm-hmm.
Robert Glasper, like those kind of like, people were just like, wait, what? How is he doing all that stuff? I thought Questlove said the first time he heard Dilla Beats, he thought he was playing real drums. The first time he heard Far Side, he's like, yeah, he's just programming it.
Yeah.
Like what? On his machine? How? How is he doing all this stuff?
And
so it's like it was a point where like everyone had to like go to see this man work. Like they had to go to Detroit. Like, how is this guy doing all this stuff?
Yeah.
It can't be done. You're like, can't be. He's doing magic.
It's funny because when you hear Questlove talk, and Questlove is a drummer. He is, he is definitely done his studies as a drummer. And he talks about like, oh, I hear these drums, and it's like, oh, these drums are off or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they're right where they're supposed to be. And it's like, but if you're coming from I'm a technical, I've gone to drum school, I'm the drum man.
Questlove, when he first came out, was a machine. He was a drum machine.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of like, he was on the beat all the time.
Yeah.
And when he met like Dilla and we met D'Angelo, that's when he started learning about that lay back on him.
Yeah. Because
be even more in the pocket. Be deeper in the pocket.
Yeah, because I think what Dilla was able to do was to bring that kind of, I'll say kind of like James Brown, kind of like era drumming, but to drum machines.
Yeah.
If that
his programming was
his programming was very kind of
light.
You know what? His programming, the way he programmed the drums is the way I imagine a drummer back in the day in some sweatbox spot on the Chitlin circuit. You know what I'm saying? Got a couple drinks in them. It's nice. We cool in here. We always having a great time. I'm just
cool. It's just chill, like cool,
just
and like,
chilling, and that's it. And I think that's the kind of vibe he brought because all his drums are always like just right. And like
never off.
I never felt like they were off. And when Questlove said it, I was like, off, huh?
To his ears,
yeah,
off.
Because I'm not, I don't go to drum school or whatever.
Yeah, but it's like it ushered in a whole new style.
Yeah.
And people exaggerated after his passing to the point where like it's sloppy.
Yeah.
But it's always his own genre, like the Dilla genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
which
we're gonna Dillify this beat.
Yeah, it's.
But they're getting it all wrong though. That's
you know what? I would venture to say that the chopped and screwed stuff kind of took from the Dilla-ish kind of, like I'd venture to say slightly, like with the way they would be like, let's slow this down and let's screw up the drums a little bit.
Yeah. But see, the thing is about like, let's say like Dilla, like the thing that I didn't understand about Dilla, I don't think I've ever said this out loud until now. The thing about people don't understand about Dilla and like being influenced by the guy.
Yeah.
He was influenced by everybody. He was influenced by like Dr. Dre, Pete Rock, Marley Marl, like the Premier, like Nottz, all the producers. Kanye even produced, like he was inspired by, because Kanye did the beat, the spaceship beat, and he was like, yo, I never thought about flipping it that way. So he was even baffled by certain like producers, like, yo, that's crazy. So the thing about Dilla that people don't understand about Dilla is that he never copied.
Nope.
He never was like, yo, I'm gonna just copy it straight. Like even though the little brother, he didn't want that beat to be out there because he's like, that was his practice.
Yeah.
Like you practice stuff, you do that stuff. If you copy, like trying to be influenced by something, you do that on the sneak tip. You do that. You do that in the. You don't want that stuff to be heard. You do that to practice and hone your own skills. So when Dilla first came out, a lot of stuff was like very Pete Rock in the vein of Pete Rock, but then he switched it. When he really came out, like, the Far Side stuff, the De La Soul stuff, Stakes is High. You know what I mean? Like, he switched it because he's like, I have to become my own producer. Yeah. And I feel that's what all producers should do, is you be influenced by somebody hard, but don't ever release that stuff like it's your own.
Yeah, don't.
I felt that that's the part that people were missing in terms of his career, because when he felt someone was copying his style, he would switch it up.
Yeah. He would just change it. He would just change and be gone.
Oh, you do that now? Okay.
And that's why sometimes I sit and wonder, like, where would he be now? What would he be making now? Like, because And then what another thing Dilla would do is he would jump into a genre to challenge.
He did trap. He did like not trap, but he did like down south stuff.
Like, well, he also did when he came out with Breathe and Stop, and he came out with Vibrant Thing. You know, Dilla was known as like kind of like the soulful hip hop guy. So he was like, you know what?
Oh yeah. That's what the whole Soul Aquarians like that.
So
they painted him in that corner.
So he's like, all right, let me do this amplified joint real quick. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all how to make the club bounce real quick. Hold on real quick. He was like,
you got Welcome,
there you go.
Welcome to Detroit was a pivot.
Yeah.
The Rough Draft was a
Rough
total,
Draft
that
was
was
another
like
one.
a reversal of everything, like going back, looping stuff up.
Yo,
but even though it was loops, it wasn't loops.
Yeah, it was.
It was like he still chopped it, but it's like even like
Reckless Driving is still one of my favorite joints.
Crushing, crushing. It's like that's not a loop. I tried to do it. It's not a loop.
Yeah,
there's parts in there like he's like.
It's like what is he doing?
He still pieced it together.
But, like Reckless Driving when it comes on, we'll play Reckless Driving when we get off. But it's like. And it's like, huh? Because the last kick is kind of like off, but you're like, huh? All right. Is man Dilla. That's it. So who's your number one?
That's my number one, Dilla.
Dilla.
It was a tough one between RZA and Dilla, but I felt Dilla in terms of longevity, in terms of his career, consistency, and never really wavered in terms of like, oh, that's what. Nah, Dilla, what you doing, Dilla?
Yeah.
Never wavered, and he could rap his ass off.
Yeah. Very.
And he had the ear, so his Dre.
Yeah.
DJ Quick's like sound, Dilla's right there with them.
Yeah.
In terms of like, how did he get that sound out of that sample? Because I got records, I got the MP3, I got the Wave, I got the FLAC, and these all sound like they're not going through the same process that he's doing.
Yeah.
Where's he getting this stuff from?
Yo, man.
His timing was ridiculous. He was an alien. He was not human. He was from Neptune or somewhere else. Saturn, somewhere else. So that's my number one.
So my number one.
We already know who it is. We already talked about him. We could talk about it more. Let's do it.
Timbaland.
Timbaland.
Here's why I was. All right, hold on. I'm gonna get back in the chat real quick.
Let me close my computer now.
We can close, but here's why I chose Timbaland. Because I love Dilla, I love RZA. RZA lost out because he didn't have the longevity that Tim had.
And he's put out some whack stuff.
But Dilla could compete on the because I feel like both of them had the originality in different ways.
And they experimented, both of them experimented sonically. The places that they went. Why does Timbaland on your number one? Why is he top? Why is he top the list?
I was listening to Timbaland earlier this week, and everything hit me about not only did he change music multiple times, because I don't think Dilla changed music multiple times. And this is no slight to Dilla, because I love Dilla. Y'all just heard us talk about Dilla for like 10 minutes. But I don't think he changed music multiple times. And what I mean by music is changing hip hop and changing R&B and changing pop music and changing I don't think Dilla did that.
R&B? Hell yeah.
Yeah, but and pop. Once you start adding pop and stuff like
he didn't have the time to do it.
Well, true.
You don't know where it was going. That's why I'm saying that you can't.
It's kind of tough. It's kind of
longevity. You can't compare.
Yeah, because it's kind of like that MC.
We don't know where he was gonna go.
Yeah, because it's kind of like the MC thing with Big Pun and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then also, what Timbaland meant or means to the dance community, and I sat back and thought, dance is a very large and was a very large, still is a very large part of hip hop. And I don't think anyone has served in modern hip hop history the dance community as well as Timbaland had. And this is why. When it had been a while since Missy dropped something, and Timbaland and Missy dropped Ninth Inning and Triple Threat. And when they dropped that, you saw thousands of dance videos come out of nowhere with people dancing to this. And I was like, not only does Timbaland change music, but what he means to the dance community. And a lot of me included, sometimes forget about the dance part of hip hop. You know,
True.
and you know whether it's popping, locking, breaking, tutting, whatever, and you know, or clowning and crumping. You know, any of that. Someone needs to energize, invigorate that community. Timbaland does it like none other. Then on top of that, Timbaland has been able to merge this EDM-ish, you know, kind of electronica-ish style into hip-hop in a way similar to how Dilla would take things and merge it and form it, and then you'd be like, hold up, this is hip-hop now. And you're like, oh. So you take that and then also take the longevity and then also how he laced everybody individually. So Timbaland did similar to what Dilla did in just a different vein. They did different. But Timbaland being here longer, unfortunately, you know, it wasn't Dilla's fault, but being here longer and also how I think he made people relevant that should have never been relevant.
Petey Pablo, man? North Carolina, I'm on a plane. Put your shirt up. Just bring your hands.
We're like a helicopter.
North Carolina. Petey Pablo was that jam, man.
Woo. But you got that.
Petey Pablo watched the show.
You got Nelly Furtado when she wanted to get her pivot. Where'd she come? When Britney wanted to get her pivot, where Justin Timberlake, all these people that he started to move outside, but without losing himself.
True.
So you take all that together, and then also, of course, since I'm from Virginia, what he meant to Virginia. And I think there's only, because out of our top 3, I think there's only 2 people that really meant something to their area. And no diss to the RZA, because the RZA watches the show, but I don't think that the RZA really kind of put New York on his back.
He put Staten on his back.
Yeah, but
that's his region.
Staten. Yeah, but I don't feel
you would not know about Staten Island without
I know, but what I'm saying is I don't think he did it in a way that like Dilla is Detroit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Timbo is Virginia.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He is.
And I would say RZA is Shaolin. So
yeah, but it's not the same.
Shaolin, man.
Yeah,
don't you want to go to Shaolin? Don't you want to go to Victory Boulevard?
Once you heard Woo out of the blue, your family's from Shaolin.
Don't you want to go to Victory Boulevard, go to the Woo Wear store, man? I always wanted to do that.
Oh man, Woo Wear.
I think it was like 314 Victory Boulevard. I think that's what they said. I always remember it, man. It's not there probably anymore, but
that is. All those together, what he meant to the hip-hop community, what he meant to the dance hip-hop community, what he did to change music 2, 3, 4 times, and his change in music changed genres of music. I gotta give it to him, man. He's been around.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with him. Those 3 can be interchangeable.
These 3 can be interchangeable, but these 3... I think are the best 3 that anybody can put together. But Timbaland is my number.
And they all have different styles. All those 3 we're putting up. They're not merging in their worlds don't even meet. They've created the world of this is possible. Yeah, they're the producers of This Is Possible.
True. And
or anything's possible.
Big shout out to Max Evans. No, I never lived in New York. But I know enough about New York. I have family in New York. I used to stay summers up there. I've been to Shaolin. I've been to Brooklyn.
I may have driven through
I've been to Shaolin, LA, Brooklyn, BX,
all of them.
I've been to all those places.
I'm from Jersey, so you know I've been to New York.
But there
Queens,
was never
Brooklyn, Bronx, BX, baby.
But there was, when it comes to putting something on your back, RZA never really did that. Not to say that he's whack for not doing it, but that accentuates on top of the longevity, the career.
But there's so many artists from New York that be kind of hard.
Scott Storch.
Who said that?
Yo, Max is funny. Yo, Max Evans.
Scott Storch.
Man, Scott Storch will get my honorable mention on my top 500. All right, man, top 200. All right, but
I'll put Scott Storch in my top 100.
But he had the crying smile. So
I'll put him in my top 100. He's number 99.
He might be 101.
101? Dang, man.
But yeah, these
Storch,
3 guys.
Man. Lean back, man. Blood Owl. Come on, man. You like that Busta Rhymes track, Blood Owl? I know you like that joint. Oh, come on, man.
One beat.
Still DRE, man. Bling, 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 bling. That's intro. That's impact, bro. When you hear the bling, 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 you can't say that in hip hop, bro. You can't say that in hip hop, bro. Scott Storch, number 1, nah.
Scott Storch got 2
Number
beats.
1.
Oh man, I'm not messing with Max. I'm not messing with you. But straight up, these 3 guys have shaped and changed hip hop in a way that I'm not sure will be done anytime soon. I know they'll there has to be somebody new. Just like, in sports or in something else, there's always somebody new. Like, I'm trying to be somebody new. I'm trying to be someone, when my career is over, they look back and be like, yo, man, this dude changed the media game. He changed things. So y'all at the beginnings. All right, y'all at the beginnings of the ground floor. All right, that's all I'm saying. But seriously, so much music, so much talent. RZA, Dilla, Timbaland, amazing cats. Thank God we have. Yo, Instagram is wilding. But
why'd you do that?
But straight up, man. Like that's our list. That's our top 10 producers. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you, guys.
Talking about y'all favorite songs, favorite producers. Even Max Evans coming in here with Scott Storch.
Scott
Storch about to get thrown out of my list.
That was like you would put on like the honorable mentions or something like.
My honorable mention would be people like Nottz, people like Alchemist, people like the Neptunes. Let's see. In that case, Madlib would have been on my honorable mentions. How about you?
I've got DJ Quick, Manny Fresh, Alchemist, Prince Paul, Eric Sermon, and Georgia Ann Muldrow.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Manny Fresh still he hit me with a joint where I was like, when he was listening to that joint where
Mystical, yeah, man, in the white car with the white leather, y'all know, man.
Where these beats at? Where was that?
I don't know, man.
Guys, thank you for checking this out. Before we go, Arckatron, where can the wonderful people find you?
You can find me at ARCKATRON.com.
And I'm your boy NERDSoul, NERDSoul, one word, anywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me, holla at me. Let's talk hip hop. Let's talk news. Let's talk geek stuff. I'm definitely down. If you're in the LA area or coming to the LA area, I will be at LA Comic Con. So holla at ya boy. But make sure that you hit that thumbs up and share this out to your folks.
And also hit that bell too, so hit
that bell
so you know when we live.
Yeah, speaking of, Open Mind said like whenever I go live, he don't be knowing when YouTube be tripping.
Hit that bell. There's a bell.
Man, hit that little bell icon because YouTube be tripping sometimes. So, you know what I'm saying?
School bell ring.
School bell ring.
Oh
man, booyaka. Yo, man. Yo, don't get stuck. Look. Y'all lucky we can't play no music on YouTube. Cause we be wilding in here. But thank you guys. Hit that thumbs up. If you hit that thumbs down, I'm gonna send Scott Storch for you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you hit the thumbs down, I'm gonna send Ninth Wonder for you too.
Oh man, come on. Ninth Wonder is way better than Scott Storch.
Cold-blooded. Unity.
When he smacked him and he put his whole face in it.
He was
like, yo, Rick, let me talk to you. He's like, yo, all right, check it. Man, when he kicked him in his chest. He's like, yo, hey guys, we out, man. We've had a wonderful time hanging with y'all. Go ahead and subscribe, and I will holler at y'all later.
Y'all for coming
we got
out.
Stuff from Shriek Fest 2018 last week coming in the morning. I got 2 interviews and a wrap up. So it's great. If you love horror movies, check this channel out in the morning. But until then, this is from us to you saying peace.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, definitely Wakanda forever.